Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to do another review, this time the Eufy Video Doorbell. I know that there are a number of reviews up on YouTube now because a couple of months ago it seems that Anchor sent a bunch of these units out to various YouTubers for review, and this is not one of those units. I bought this with my own money. This is not a sponsored review in any way. I paid the full, I think it was 160 bucks on Amazon. For this guy. The thing that differentiated this versus the Ring doorbell was this did not require any kind of a subscription in order to get video storage and things like that. And I'd heard fairly good things about it, and I wanted to see for myself. So we're going to do a very quick unboxing. I'll do a very rapid fire installation, probably a couple still shots that'll follow the unboxing, and then I'm going to sit with it and play with it for a week or so, and then follow up with some closing comments about what my impressions are. So we will see how easy this thing is to install, and but right now, let's find out what's in the box. So I can tell you that the box, the packaging is very well made. This is not cheaply packaged. So if that is an indication as to the quality of construction of the actual product, so that bodes well. Looks like we got a quick start guide and a little template for drilling if you have to drill. Little static label, cling label to put on your window. And we shall see how good that documentation is. So that's basically what you get. Now, the one downside that I had heard, and again, I'll weigh in on this once I've had a chance to play with it, is that you cannot use your existing doorbell chimes. You have to actually basically disable the power with a jumper, as I recall, so that you get all of the power from your doorbell power leads. Instead of it being shared with your chime, it all goes to the video doorbell here. And then this plugs in separately and then links wirelessly to the outdoor unit, and then your chime comes from here. Now the upside of this is I believe the chimes are configurable, so we'll take a look and see if that's a reasonable trade-off or not. All right, got an accessory kit, some extra jumper wires, additional jumper wires with a couple of wire nuts, some mounting screws, and looks like a modular US style plug. And then I guess this is a tool to be able to easily take the outdoor module on and off. So looks like it might have a magnet on it or something. I'm not sure if that's legit or not. Yeah, actually it's magnetized, so I guess you can stick it on the refrigerator. Interesting attention to detail. All right, so let's go see how quick this thing is to install, and I'll report back to you after I've gotten it installed and had a chance to use it for at least a week, and let you know how I feel about it. So as you can see, the parts are conveniently numbered by step to make it easy for installation. Basically, you turn the main breaker off, then you jump these two leads in your existing chime. As you can see, this is just for reference. The unit is just a little over 1.5 inches wide. You remove your old doorbell. Make sure you don't lose the wires in the hole. You attach the mounting plate. It even tells you which side goes up. Attach the wires to the new doorbell unit. Pull the little adhesive strips off, and then you snap it into place. After that, it's pretty straightforward. You just turn your power back on and then follow the instructions in the app. All right, let's take a quick look at the interior doorbell ringer that comes with the Eufy Video Doorbell. So there's a little sync button on top, and you use that when you first plug this thing in, so that when the exterior doorbell is actually in sync mode and looking for this. Now there's two other buttons on here. There's one on the left side, which is the ringtone selector. So you can just press that, and it'll cycle through the available ringtones. We'll just do that real quick. I guess you could change it to that if you're having a birthday party. Obviously something for the holidays. I just use that standard one. And then on the right side, there's one more button, And this is the volume button, so you can toggle between 3 different levels. And you can see it gets progressively louder. And not that my house is especially large, but you know, it's large enough. And I find that the low is actually quite sufficient. All right, let's take a look at some of the features of the Eufy Security app on Android. Now, there's a lot here, so we're not going to cover all of this, but I'll try to give you the highlights. When it first opens up, it will show you any of the Eufy Security devices that you've currently installed and paired with your Eufy Security app. I only have the doorbell device, so that's the only one that I'm seeing, obviously. But from here I can go to the live stream by clicking on the play button. It'll connect through the Wi-Fi and will show me the live feed from my house. Now, as you can see here, I have a slight distortion curvature on the horizontal lines, but the vertical lines are more or less straight. Now, the reason that is the case, there's actually like a fisheye lens on here, which is why we have the horizontal distortion. But you can correct for the vertical distortion by a configuration setting, which I'll go into here in a second. Now, there's a few icons on the bottom. Interestingly, the scissor icon will take a screenshot. So I don't know why they don't use a camera there instead of a scissor, but if I just click the scissor button, it takes a screenshot and it saves it to my photo album. So interesting icon choice there. You can choose to speak to somebody in real time by pressing the microphone and speaking, provided you've given the app permission to use that microphone. And you can also send quick messages with that, I think with this little guy right here. So you can send a basic voice response that's a computerized message if you don't want to speak yourself. And of course, you can also record in real time the live feed as well. Let's go back out to the main menu here, and let's click on the little sprocket icon for settings in the upper right hand corner of the doorbell. As you can see, there's a lot here, but a couple things I'll point out. You can have it turn off the interior chimes module with this guy right there. Maybe you want it to only ring on your phone. So if you wanted to kind of be in stealth alert mode there, you could turn that off. You can turn off the Eufy Security watermarks on the videos. I'm not sure why you even would want that on in the first place, but if for some reason you want that, you can turn that on. You can leave the LED light on at night. Otherwise, it'll shut itself off if you disable that function. And this is just the little LED ring that goes around the area where you press the button on the outside of the house. Motion detection, kind of an important area. There's several degrees of sensitivity that you can set. And some of them, I'm not going to click through all of these, but you can choose to basically, on one extreme, have it pick up any motion, in which case you might get some false alarms, if tree branches are blowing and, that kind of thing. Or you can just have the AI look for human-only activity. So it'll try to identify human body forms, and then it will then try to capture that person's face. And it does actually quite a good job of doing that, as you'll see in a moment. Now, there's activity zones that you can define. Let me go into that real quick. And the cool thing about that is that it allows us, if I hit the plus button here, to define an activity zone that you're either going to monitor or ignore. So you can define an area not to alarm off of, or an area that you want to alarm off of. So it gives you this little polygon here at first. And then you can pick these little handles and you can draw the shape exactly as you want it. Now, in my particular case, I want to pick up people as they're coming down this walkway, and to do that, I'd want to be able to pick up their face higher up. So if I draw this higher up, I run the risk of now picking up motion of cars going across the street at the end of the property there. So I'm actually going to not use the motion. I've actually had very good luck just having it look for human activity. So let's go back to settings and see what else we can do. Go back out to the main settings menu. Night vision, you can obviously toggle that on or off for better video in the dark. I usually just leave it on. If I go into video quality, this is the distortion correction that I talked about. It really only seems to address the vertical lines, but still does a better job, I think, in most cases. If you don't want the blatant fisheye distortion, you can just leave that on. You can also choose which level of recording quality you want. Its best quality, as you can see, is 2K, which is pretty decent. So I'm going to leave that in place. And let me just see if there's anything else here. You can actually record your own quick responses there that you can then send rather than having to speak in real time to somebody. Now, when you look at the sounds menu, really what you're getting here is the doorbell audio volume. If you speak to somebody through the doorbell, this is the volume of your audio stream that they will hear outside the house on that top slider. On the bottom slider, the doorbell ringtone. This is when they press the button, how loud the ringtone will chime outside the house. On the inside of the house, as you saw in the previous clip, you do have to set one of the 3 volume levels with that right-hand button on the interior ringtone module, as well as changing the ringtones. You can't do that from the app. So if you were to go to, say, indoor chime, you might say, well, I could set my indoor chime from there. But in fact, no, you can't. This is really just to connect the app after you've pressed the sync button on the interior module so that you can connect it to both the app and the exterior module. A few other things you can set in here. You obviously want to set your local time and time zone. You can also change notifications, whether to get notifications only in the event that somebody pushes the doorbell, or maybe you want to get notifications if the doorbell video detects any kind of motion. So, and then when you click on a notification, do you want it to open up the related event that it detected, or do you want it to immediately go to live view? So if you think that you're going to be able to pretty much react in real time immediately to a notification typically, then you might want to go to live view, because then you can see what's going on. If you think that you may be a little bit delayed in your reaction to these notifications for whatever reason, then going to the related history event probably makes more sense. So there's some really cool things if we step back out of these settings. If I look at the bottom, I can click on the Events button, and this will take me to any events that have been captured. So as you can see, there's like a thumbnail of the event, and then if the device picked up somebody's profile or picture, if the AI was able to determine that, you can see, like for example, if I go into this one, it'll start playing the video automatically. I can see the mail guy coming up to my door, ringing the doorbell. There's audio is automatically activated, so it'll play that. You actually hear my dog barking from inside the house. So I'll pause that. But the interesting thing here, look at the little icon on the bottom, the round one. So that the AI was able to pick up the guy's face and then take a shot of that specifically. So you can actually pinch and zoom and on the face of the person approaching. That might be helpful if you're having a problem with porch bandits stealing your Amazon deliveries, that kind of thing. So it's really handy to be able to have that little bit extra information when you are looking at a video. And other than that, there are some security profiles that I would point out here that you can set, and you can turn those on or off and enable them. You can edit these things and kind of determine whether you're going to record video or push notifications when motion is detected. You can save those under different names and enable those profiles to behave differently under different circumstances. Now that would sort of lead you to want to have a conversation about what kind of integration does this have with other home automation, like if this then that, or say Samsung Smart Things or Google Home or Amazon Alexa. Well, there's some beta connectivity that they would have in here for Amazon Alexa and Google Smart Home. Those are the only ones available right now. Now I do have Amazon Alexa in my house, but I only have like the Echo Dot. And really, I don't see any integration that's really advantageous with that unless you had the Amazon Alexa device that actually had a display on it so that you could actually see a video feed, in which case you could, with this current beta setup, attach that or associate this device in your Amazon Alexa. When you set that up, the Amazon Alexa kind of understands how to interact with these Eufy devices, and then you could say, show me the front door, or show me the doorbell video, or whatever you want to say, and it would then show you the live feed on the Amazon Alexa show device. Can't really do that on an Echo Dot, so I don't really even bother. But so it does look like they're making an effort to increase the kind of integration options you might be able to have if that's something that interests you. So anyway, that's kind of the long and short of the app. So I hope the video gave you a good sense of what it's like to install this thing and what the features are. I really found it to be an easy installation. It really took 10 or 15 minutes. There was probably a few extra minutes extra there where I was trying to figure out which breaker was tied to the doorbell power. Ultimately ended up just shutting down all of the power. But in any case, the actual installation part was quite straightforward and easy. The instructions were very simple. Everything I need was laid out and clear. And it all just sort of worked. The price point of this one is right in between the Ring, the original Ring, and the Ring 2. So those are $100 and $200 respectively, and this being $160 currently. But The big thing for me is that I get higher resolution video out of this than I do on the Ring, and I don't have any ongoing subscription fees to pay in order to record my video offline. And with this one, it records video directly to the device. I think it's got 2 gigabytes of storage in it, and which is really has turned out to be enough to hold several weeks worth of video, at least for the kind of activity my front door seems to get. And at any point in time, I can move those video clips off to my cell phone with just a click or two. So it's really quite easy. So I hope you found the video helpful. Consider sticking around and checking out some of the outdoor videos. I've got some original music in there that I have fun doing. And if you like gadget reviews, consider hitting the subscribe button. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one. Have fun out there.